Welcome to the Tiny House Ideas podcast. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tiny House Ideas podcast. Today I'm joined by Jamie and George, and they're working on a documentary called The Alternative Life. So they're basically going around the UK, they're sort of meeting and interviewing people who are living alternatively. So whether that be in a narrow boat, in a tiny house, and they're going to be sort of discussing the creative process behind making a documentary in terms of pre-production, post-production, and how the pandemic has affected that. So stay tuned to hear more about this amazing documentary. Welcome to the Tiny House Ideas podcast, the show where we talk about how to live a more fulfilling life with less. My name's Harry Alvarez-Garman, and I've got tons of exciting guests lined up for you, including authors, entrepreneurs, and tiny house owners. If you love minimalism, sustainable living, personal development, and everything in between, then you're in the right place. On the show, we'll be talking about how you can do more of what you love, how to turn your passion into a career, and how to live more sustainably.
We're Jamie and George. We're freelance filmmakers based in the West Midlands, and together we're making the documentary The Alternative Life.
Amazing stuff. So The Alternative Life, what would you can you give me a brief overview of what the documentary is going to be about?
We're both freelance filmmakers, and in our day-to-day life we do more corporate work, so very business-based, and we wanted to make a documentary, like tell meaningful stories. So The Alternative Life is a documentary looking into the lives of people who live alternatively in the UK. So whether that be living in a bus, a van, camping, or living on a boat, or the many different types of alternative living that do go on in the UK, just getting a little insight of what that is and who lives there. And hopefully it'll be a film that just sheds a bit of light on the alternative living scene in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's an amazing amazing concept, because obviously we've got people on Instagram sharing their stories, but it'll be amazing to see some stories compiled of people and to get a real insight into what it's all about.
Yeah, so we find that alternative living in the UK isn't represented so much on mainstream media, so perhaps not everyone knows about it. And in the online space, a lot of it is based in other countries. America, for example, it's very popular, and it's still emerging in the UK. So our focus is purely UK, and we're mostly finding stories from people that perhaps go unheard because they haven't got a social media following where they share their story. So that's the people that we've looked for so far. And that's led us to Flo, Marisa and Alex.
Amazing stuff. Well, I think it is a really important point that you bring up, that it's not really covered in the mainstream media, which is completely true. Because I mean, for us here in the UK, where the whole sort of alternative living and tiny living movement is sort of still in the early developmental phases, I guess it'll sort of be amazing to have some light shed on that. Because obviously at the moment we've got sort of people that are sharing their stories on Instagram or social media. But in America, if you look over there, I mean, there's sort of TV programs, and it is a common occurrence to sort of be hearing about this on the TV. So I guess you guys are obviously at the forefront of sort of bringing a real sort of mainstream kind of documentary to talk about this some more.
Hopefully, yeah. And just getting the broad range of ways that you can live alternatively in the UK. Like there are programs out there, but like you say, it's nothing compared to what, for example, America has to offer. So just showing a general overview of what, of how people can live in the UK, and just showing it as a little example of you don't need to live conventionally.
Thanks for watching this little teaser for the Tiny House Ideas podcast. If you'd like to listen to the full episode, it's available on all major streaming platforms. So that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of the others. Alternatively, if you'd rather watch it sort of in a video format like this video has been, then that's available on Patreon. Just search for Tiny House Ideas. So thanks again for watching. Please do check out the full episode, and thanks again.